Have you ever imagined that the world's oldest and most influential book holds financial secrets that could transform your life? Many believe that prosperity and spirituality don't go hand in hand. But what if I told you that this is one of the greatest misconceptions of our time? The Bible, beyond being a spiritual guide, is a true treasure map, yet few have the courage to decipher it. Within its pages are teachings that not only draw you closer to God, but also empower you to achieve a life of abundance, both spiritually and financially. Now you may be wondering, how can something written thousands of years ago help me today? The answer is simple. The principles found in the scriptures are timeless and surprisingly practical. They speak of mindset, management, generosity, and even strategies for financial growth with wisdom and balance. What I'm about to share may seem counterintuitive, but trust me, it's the missing piece that could unlock your journey toward true prosperity. If you've tried everything, self-help books, financial gurus, get-rich-quick formulas, and nothing has worked, maybe it's time to return to the basics. But this isn't just any basic knowledge. It's divinely inspired. It's not about selfishly accumulating wealth, but about aligning your heart and actions with God's purpose, achieving results that go far beyond material success. Are you ready to discover what few dare to teach? The Bible, often considered solely a spiritual guide, also contains powerful principles about wealth that few people explore. It's not about accumulating riches for display, but about understanding divine stewardship. For example, Proverbs teaches that diligence brings prosperity, not just by working hard, but by having a clear purpose. A business owner who structures his day into productivity blocks, prioritizing what truly matters, is already applying biblical wisdom in everyday life. Many ask, is it wrong to seek wealth? The truth is that God doesn't condemn prosperity, but rather the love of money. Great spiritual leaders, like Joseph in Egypt, were blessed with resources to benefit entire nations. Think about the positive impact of investing in education for underprivileged youth or funding missionary work. The key is aligning wealth with spiritual purpose. And we can't ignore the importance of knowing where our money goes. Imagine someone with a decent salary who never knows where their earnings disappear. The principle of saving and planning as taught in Proverbs is essential to avoid this trap. Start with something simple. Track your weekly expenses and identify areas to cut back. This small habit already reflects God-inspired financial management. When we begin to see money as a divine tool for making an impact, everything changes. The focus shifts from how much do I have to what can I do with what I've been entrusted with. This perspective shift is just the beginning of a fascinating journey that involves not only our thoughts, but also our hearts, as we'll explore in the next section. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant, you will inevitably harvest. Proverbs 23:7 reminds us, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. In other words, mindset is the foundation of everything, including prosperity. A scarcity mindset, which always fears lack, only attracts limitations. On the other hand, aligning your thoughts with abundance is like opening the doors to a constant flow of blessings. Imagine someone who decides to focus on opportunities rather than problems. That is a direct reflection of a transformed mindset. It's fascinating how small shifts in thinking create massive differences. Consider the habit of complaining about bills while ignoring gratitude for the salary that pays them. Replacing that complaint with praise is a simple yet powerful act. Want a practical example? When you receive your paycheck, take a moment to thank God for being your source of provision. This gesture activates a gratitude consciousness that reshapes your mentality. Moreover, Jesus taught that those who are faithful with little will be entrusted with more. This also applies to mindset. You can't expect big things if your mind is still trapped in old patterns. Think of someone who wants to start a business but constantly says, "I'm not talented" or "I'm just unlucky." Replacing these thoughts with declarations like, "I can with God's strength," is an essential step. It's like reprogramming the mind to see what once seemed impossible. Aligning with an abundance mindset isn't just about thinking positively. It's about believing what God has already declared. He promised plans for prosperity, not for lack, for each of us. Understanding this prepares us to act wisely, as we'll see in the next stage on managing resources. The parable of the talents, Matthew 25 to 14:30, is a timeless lesson on how to manage what we are given. Each servant received resources according to their ability, but the focus is on what they did with those talents. Those who multiplied what they received were rewarded, while the one who buried his talent was reprimanded. This story teaches us that God values initiative, effort, and wisdom in handling our resources. After all, what we have isn't really ours. We are just stewards. In practice, this means using money to bear fruit. Imagine someone who gets a raise but spends it all on unnecessary luxuries. Meanwhile, another person decides to invest in courses to improve their skills or save to start a business. The outcome of these choices reflects the real-world application of the parable. Do you have a skill you can enhance? Think of ways to transform what you have into something greater, always seeking divine guidance. Good financial management also involves planning. Proverbs teaches that well-planned efforts lead to abundance. Try this. Write down your financial goals for the next few months and create a plan to achieve them. It could be paying off debt, starting a savings account, or donating to a social project. Small daily steps make all the difference. Remember, God blesses good stewardship, but it's up to you to take the first steps with diligence. Ultimately, multiplication happens when we entrust what we have into God's hands and act with wisdom. Proper resource management opens doors to unexpected opportunities and proves that we are ready to receive even more. This is where generosity comes into play, creating a cycle of blessings that extend beyond ourselves, which we'll explore next. Generosity is a powerful key that unlocks invisible doors of blessings. Malachi 3:10 presents a bold invitation. "Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, and see if I will not open the windows of heaven." God calls us to trust Him through giving, promising a return that goes beyond finances. Those who have blessed someone in need know that the joy of giving is unmatched. However, generosity isn't just about money. It's about a heart willing to share. Think of someone who donates their time to mentor a child or volunteer at a community project. Small acts like these create an eternal impact. Luke 6:38 reinforces this principle. Give, and it will be given to you. This truth works like a seed planted in fertile soil, guaranteeing future harvests. Have you ever given something without expecting anything in return? It's incredible how God surprises us when we act this way. Moreover, generosity teaches an essential lesson. Money should never control us. It is a tool, not the ultimate goal. A simple way to practice this is by setting aside a percentage for giving, such as 10% for tithes and another portion for social causes. This habit helps maintain the balance between earning and sharing. After all, God multiplies what we give with joy and purpose. But the most fascinating part is that generosity is a cycle. The more we give, the more we receive. And the more we receive, the more we can give. It's a continuous movement that reflects God's heart and prepares us for even greater stewardship. Now that you know the hidden financial secrets in the Bible, the big question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue letting life pass by, or will you put these principles into practice to change your story? True wealth isn't just in what we accumulate, but in the impact we create. If this message inspired you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. we have much more to share about how divine wisdom can transform every area of your life. Don't miss out. Your next great lesson is just a click away.